16 Pros and Cons of Living in Montana. Named the Big Sky Country for obvious reasons, Montana is that large expansive state in the northernmost part of the continental U.S. The state shares the northern side with Canada and is home to Glacier National Park. Greet this state with an open mind, and you will soon discover the joys and challenges of being a resident of Montana. A Montanan. Pros of living in Montana. 1. Plenty of room to roam. Wide open prairies and miles between neighbors where only horses tell tales to greet you in Montana. Here you are residing in the fourth largest state by size according to the landmass. Right along with a herd of sheep or goats, or maybe horses and cattle, or just farmland for neighbors. If you want to own a ranch or livestock or settle down on several hundred acres, this is the state for you as long as you have the money. 2. Glacier National Park. The Canadian border state is home to Glacier National Park, which is home to, you guessed it, glaciers. You cannot see glaciers in Florida or most other states in the US, so that makes this a unique find. Of course, you have to drive the Going to the Sun Road when you travel to this park, a treacherous yet awe-inspiring mountain pass of 50 miles. This road reaches Canada and is a must for any nature enthusiast. 3. Big City Billings offers breweries. The southeastern city of Billings, Montana is the most populated with 109,976 residents, compared to the second most populated city in Missoula with 74,994 people. Billings is home to nearly a dozen breweries. These include Montana Brewing Company, Canyon Creek Brewing, and Thirsty Street Brewing Company at the taproom. You can also find Carter's Brewing, Angry Hank's Microbrewery, and Meadowlark Brewing. These are just to name a few. 4. Bozeman is popular for families. Previously the fastest growing city in the state, Bozeman was popular with new residents. Schools, neighborhoods, housing, and parks are all accommodating to families and young people. Attractions in Bozeman include Snowfall Recreation Area, the Museum of the Rockies, Montana State University, and Drinking Horse Mountain Trailhead. 5. It snows heavily in winter in Montana. If you love snowball fights and snowshoeing, you might fall head over heels in love with Montana. Bridger Bowl Ski Area in Bozeman, Maverick Mountain in Polaris, and Discovery Ski Area in Anaconda are some of the top places to ski and enjoy winter sports in the U.S. Glacier National Park has more than 700 miles of trails alone. You also have the Whitefish Mountain Resort for those ultra-luxurious ski vacations. 6. Close proximity to Yellowstone National Park. The southeastern corner of Montana is a part of Yellowstone National Park. Therefore, anywhere you live in MT, you are only a few hours drives from this magnificent highlight of our nation's lands and animals. Drive through the park and see bison, buffalo roaming freely, and take a hike to see the gushing upper falls of the Yellowstone River, which is in Montana. 7. People in Montana live longer than those in Missouri. Montanans get an average of 78.5 years on this planet. That's a pretty good lifespan and even better than Missourians get. In Missouri, residents can expect to live for about 77.5 years. If you want to have a longer life expectancy, choose Montana over Missouri. This could be thanks to the wondrous nature and outdoor activities available to people in Montana. The cold weather might also play a role in encouraging social networking in Mount out of a need for basic survival. 8. Huckleberries, chokecherries, and other tasty Montana morsels. There are many foods that come from Montana's cold wilderness. This includes huckleberries and chokecherries, which are vibrant fruits you won't find in most stores in other states. If you are a foodie, you get to try new ingredients and test out local secrets, like bison burgers and Rocky Mountain oysters. Cons of living in Montana. 1. Lack of survival skills in the Wild West. Surviving in Montana is a life sport, which is why they do not need professional sports in this state. Just kidding, it is because there's a lack of people to play or to pay to see them. What you spend your time doing instead is surviving in the wilds with few people or resources easily available. Walmarts require hours of driving in between, and gas stations do not come along often enough when driving. Winter months bring along blizzards and sub-zero temperatures that can be deadly. There are also bison or buffalo that roam throughout part of the state thanks to Yellowstone National Park. There are a lot of hazards to contend with that are not typical in other states or regions of the U.S. You have to be prepared for this. 2. Allergies to snow or cold weather. If you are afraid of snow or hate driving when there is ice on the roads, well, you might want to avoid Montana. It is bound to happen each year. Snow, that is. Learning to love the snow is one thing. You might actually be allergic to the cold temperatures, and your lack of immunity might be a health risk. Instead of building snow people and going sledding, your first winters could be filled with head colds and a loss of sensitivity in your fingertips. 3. Lack of other Montanans. There are barely 1 million people with 1.062 million residents as of 2020 in Montana. Twice as many as in Wyoming, the state we often confuse with Montana. You might not see another person for days on end. Comparably, Wyoming has only 581,348 people, while bordering Idaho has twice as many as MT with 1.754 million residents. Los Angeles, which is a city, has 3.849 million people for comparison. Montana is a lot of space for nobody to live, which can be unnerving if you, say, come from LA. 4. Californians have a longer life expectancy than Montanans. Sorry to say, but according to the U.S. Census Bureau, this is true. The life expectancy for someone living in Mount is 78.5 years, compared to 80.8 years for those people in CA. California is also by the ocean and does not get super cold as it does in Montana. Plus, there are tons of people. You might prefer to live in CA to MT. 5. Hockey or baseball. And that's about all the sports Montana offers. If you are a hockey buff or love ice hockey and ice skating, you will feel right at home in Montana. The same goes for baseball, as they have several minor league teams, including the Missoula Osprey, Billings Mustangs, and Great Falls Voyagers. Prefer national football, soccer, tennis, or NASCAR? Well, you might have trouble getting someone to watch it with you on television, and you certainly will not find a local national sports team or race to attend. 6. There is not a Trader Joe's and barely a Whole Foods market. Trader Joe's is nowhere to be found in all of Montana. If you at least want to stop in at Whole Foods Market, you will, maybe eventually, be able to do this for the first time ever in Mount at a Bozeman location. However, the building of the store in the Gallatin Valley Mall has been going on since 2020 and it is temporarily closed as of 2022. Shopping for food on a national scale from stores you love in other states is not possible here. Plan on finding a farmer's market or going online. 7. Violent crime is on the upside. And that is never good news. Yet according to the U.S. Census Bureau, Montana has been seeing more violent crime since 2018. In 2018, there were 3,974 violent crimes compared to 4,328 violent crimes in 2019. This has increased steadily since 2008 when there were 2,497 violent crimes annually in Montana. 8. Agriculture, forestry, energy production, and mining are the big jobs. In Montana, you can find plenty of jobs working in forestry service positions or on farms. What you cannot do is work for a production studio on a movie set. Just kidding. You can do that, too, as Yellowstone is doing for the state. But if you do not have experience or networking skills in any of these industries, you are going to struggle with finding gainful employment. Jobs that are not in season in Montana are most retail, customer service, or teaching positions in rural areas, which lack funding or opportunities.